Hello everyone, I am here with Callum,
Hello.
who is our painter, and we've also got 30 of your painted friends.
Yeah, I don't know about friends.
Yeah,
but
I think friends might be pushing it. This is a Panzer Lehr division that you painted, and they're from Wargames Atlantic.
They are, yep.
And tell us why you approach these figures, Callum.
So I've not done much kind of World War II era kind of miniature wargaming, so I really kind of wanted to dip my toe in, so I thought I'd obviously do 30, you know, it seems logical. But with the newfound power of the airbrush, and also new kind of batch painting techniques, I've really kind of sped up, and so I wanted to approach something a bit larger, because if you'd told me maybe a year ago that I was going to be doing a project like this, I'd have run for the hills.
Yeah, how long would this have taken you to do you think, before you got the airbrush and sped up?
I probably would have got half of them done and then given up.
Given up, fair
Absolutely.
enough.
So it was a real exercise in trying to, you know, with the Panzer Lehr, the scheme suited. It was kind of, you know, all one kind of uniform, which you find with a lot of kind of World War II era stuff.
Yes.
But it was quite easy to get a nice, you know, gradient down with some shadows on it, a quick highlight across these models, which are nicely sculpted, so it allows you for that one highlight layer and you're done. So I think it was suitable. You got some opportunities for some kind of showing off. So we've got some camo slightly on some of the helmets,
Yeah.
some of the faces. You know, I've done a little bit of freehand over in this region, which we'll show some close-ups of.
Yeah, it's about putting detail in the right places.
It's finding those places,
Yeah.
you're right, because that's part of been my journey of learning to that point, because before I would have put detail everywhere, and that's why I'd have given up, because I'd have lost my mind,
Yeah.
I'd have gone insane.
So I think what you're describing as well is something that's not alien to a lot of painters. I certainly used to take a lot longer to paint figures and would give up halfway through projects and stuff. So let's get a closer look at some of these, and we can talk over some of the detail points.
Sure thing, where I kind of cut corners, where I focus detail.
Completely, yeah. Let's get them in the light box and do some spins.
So for standard infantry, we've got them equipped with some K98 rifles and some MP40s as well. There's quite a nice distribution, a nice mix in the box on the sprues, so I kind of tried to vary it out amongst the models.
Yeah, Wargames Atlantic tend to add a huge array of options onto their frames, and these are no exception, are they?
It was really nice because there's obviously a set number of poses that go together. So as we're showing now, we've got a soldier reloading an MP40.
Yes, it's nice that you've got that detail there, and then there's also some matched arms as well for the MP40s.
But there is scope within the set to mix and match, so I think I've tried to kind of vary up the different poses to keep it a bit interesting.
Yeah, you've got one here that's holding his MP40, just at rest kind of, he's kneeling, and he's got a grenade out that he's about to lob over there.
Yes, and it didn't really take much work to get those to fit together. It was quite easy to get the MP40 just to slot in there. I think it's designed for another kind of weapon.
Right, okay.
But the kit allows that kind of versatility almost. It was good, especially if you're doing 30 models like this. You kind of want to make them look a bit different.
Yeah, for sure. So this one is, he's not firing his rifle, he's a little more kind of indicating something there.
I really quite like those poses that you can get with models when there's always something to do with the hand. It directs kind of the action. So this one, I sort of paid particular interest to kind of the face, the hand and the hair. I wanted it to be a bit of a focal point for the unit, so if we were doing some photography, we could put him towards the front.
Yeah, for sure, and you can see the uniform looks really neatly painted and it's got good volumes on it, but the face is where you've obviously had fun, you've done detail on the eyes, you've got nice tones in the hair there as well.
Absolutely, I kind of drew the light towards, because it's quite slicked back, I wanted to pick out where the hair meets the forehead, so there'd be a sharp, crisp line, and then you get the nice lighting. Almost slightly greasy hair if it's slicked, you know, across the head. Same with the hand, I wanted to draw the eye to the two fingers and the thumb, so we've got sharp, bright highlights on those 3 points there, and then obviously shaded down slightly into the palm itself. It was just really fun, actually. The faces are really well sculpted, so it was a joy to try and just draw you draw the viewer's eye to that face. Obviously, as you say, it's got quite a crisp uniform as a background.
Okay, so you've got one of the elites here with a Panzerfaust for some anti-tank business.
Absolutely.
And he's got a helmet that you've done some subtle camo on.
So yeah, with this model I thought it was a good example and a good opportunity to try and get some basic quick freehand in there. It was a couple of layers. We had a brown first, then we had the uniform green on top, then a wash to kind of tie them together, mute it down, and then a quick highlight just to kind of illustrate the sculpt itself. It was really a great opportunity. I like these ones. So as well with the Panzerfaust, every single weapon in this that is all metallics is just a black and thrash metal from scale 75 mixed together for a quick, simple two-coat across and then a wash. So you still have some hints of metal, but it was a quick time-saving technique that basically meant I could knock out all the weapons very quickly.
Yeah, and it looks quite realistic as well.
It does. It's got a subtle shine to it. I think from the period as well, it's quite accurate, you know, the metal. So we've also got some MG42s in here as well. There's a variety that's shouldered and some others that are, you know, ready to fire. I quite like the shouldered pose because it gave quite a lot of motion to some of the more static kind of standing around, because you've got weapons being, grenades being thrown, you know, hands pointing. So this one here, I've got him carrying some kit. I just thought it was quite a nice forward, you know, moving with the unit.
So looking at this one here, as with all the figures, you've painted the eyes, which quite a lot of historical painters doing squads wouldn't do. You've done these fast, but you've done the eyes. What's the reasoning behind that?
If I'm honest, I enjoyed painting the faces of the ones with hair, so I put eyes on them and then I was committed at that point.
Yeah, because obviously these being under the brims of hats or helmets makes it a little more difficult to apply those.
It meant, so I toned down the highlights on the face itself for these models because they were in shade, but I thought I might as well try and get the eyes in there because the sculpts are quite nice. There is still a nice sculpted hollow for the eye in there, so it made sense with these kind of models.
Yeah, I guess because these are plastics and have very clean defined eyes, whereas if it was maybe an older metal figure,
model, you might not want to commit to that.
That might be a route to madness.
Possibly.
So what's this guy about? He's got some papers. I think you've actually done it like a map, except maybe he's not quite worked out how maps work.
I had quite a lot of fun. I think I just watched Indiana Jones when I was doing these. I thought that I wanted to play into the treasure hunting kind of. It was a bit of fun. He had a stack of papers. I thought it was a nice flat canvas. And obviously, because this would be a centre point of the unit, you know, the leader, I thought it was a good opportunity to do a bit of freehand here.
And with it being on the side that he's not looking at?
I'd like the idea that he's unaware of how to hold it, or, you know, any kind of information about it.
So you painted a whole unit and you're like, I'm not really fans of these guys, I'll just make them look dumb.
Absolutely, I don't think, nobody should be fans of these guys.
Fair enough, I would have to agree. And of course, the final thing for any army or unit project is to decide on your basing style, which you've gone for quite a nice one here, some nice detail going on.
So there were two considerations going into it. So I wanted it to fit in a period, obviously, that was accurate, but I also wanted something that kind of colour balance would work with these models. So the uniform was more of a blue-green kind of combo, so I wanted an orange-brown kind of tone to the base. So that skewed me towards kind of autumnal colours automatically. That would allow me to place them around kind of the end of the Saint-Lô campaign, coming into autumn. And as I progress the kind of the units, it means we can go into the Ardennes campaign, the Battle of Bulge area. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And the Panzer Lehr are a good unit, really, because they're obviously involved in all the really heavy fighting Absolutely. At the end of the war. So you're going to be able to play lots of battles with these, and they're going to look great on the tabletop.
I'm looking forward to it.
All right, let's do a recap of your top tips for painting quite a large number of figures to a high standard without losing your mind in the process.
Absolutely. So the first key area I would say is pick the largest surface area of the model and start with that. So with these ones, it's the uniform.
Yeah.
The second point I would say is find where you want to spend your time, because if you try and spend equally across the whole model, you will lose your mind. So on these, and what I recommend is I chose the heads and the faces to really kind of focus in. It is the focal point of the model, and it draws the eye in. So I spent as much time there as I could. To assist you with that, I actually kept them in sub-assembly, so I kept the heads separate so that I could spray them in a lighter colour so that I could get a skin tone quite quickly and easily.
Yeah, and then also you've kept the rest quite simple too.
Yeah, so literally the black straps are just one coat, one colour, and they're done. Because they don't need the highlights, really. Your eye's drawn to the highlight on the uniform, and again, as we said, on the face, it's drawn to that. You kind of miss it as you look at the model.
Yeah, in fact, the simplicity of the straps almost enhances those other elements.
I would say it keeps it quite muted and grounded, quite realistic.
And talking of grounded, in an elegant segue,
it's very
basing.
Nice. Basing. Crucial to making a model look nice.
Yeah.
So again, try and pick a colour that contrasts with your model, so it doesn't muddy it up. You want nice clear definition and also a bit of colour variety in there. So we had a nice orange, brown kind of earthy tone, and we've got some green flock which has got some yellow in there, and then tufts again, we've got kind of two-tone tufts in there, just to kind of break it up, because not all grass looks the same, it all is patchy, different. I think those are key steps into effective basing.
Sure thing. And even though I didn't paint these, I'm going to sneak in and add my own tip, which is find the thing that you really like and use it as your reward interspersed throughout the painting process, right?
Absolutely. Mine was faces with these models. I really like painting faces.
And mine probably would have been basing.
Faces and basing.
Two key things in miniature painting.
You know what else is two key things, James?
No.
It's liking and subscribing.
Oh, that was good. That was almost professional.
Almost.
So yes, like, subscribe, tell us what you think of Callum's figures, and we'll see you in the next one.
This video has been brought to you by WiPrime, Wargames Illustrated magazine's online members club. View more videos or find out more about WiPrime by following these links.